Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Due to the extreme immaturity of the governing class, I have to kind of interrupt my process of making the videos about the Morgan Hell story and talk about what's going on immediately. So basically, this racists in the government, right, white Jews, LGBT racists, token minorities, they've indicated to me that because I won't be their sex slave, because I won't be their slave, dating who they want me to date, following their orders, why they act like racist, arrogant Jews and military people. And of course, I have to put God first no matter what, even if they acted in a way that was more diplomatic, right? They indicated to me that they intend to kill me very soon, okay? And because my parents have been acting unreasonable as well, and they've been fuming the house pretty badly, and other issues come together a certain way to make it so that I decided to leave. So today, in the absence of, some miraculous statement or something from my parents, I'm going to kind of take off from the area. But I'll be in the area if anyone has any problems with me about the videos I made or any other problems in Morgan Hill. I've put a bunch of Morgan Hill tags on it. People from Morgan Hill, San Jose, they should have been watching my videos already. So I'm not leaving the city. I'm not fleeing the city. There's a good chance that I'll come back at some point if I'm still alive. And, I can't stress enough that I've lived the greatest life ever. Just like in Luke 23, don't cry for me, cry for yourselves, People were very stupid to not rally to me. Very stupid. You need to see Leviticus, okay? The punishments for disobedience. It says that, people will basically be animals who live despicable lives and who ruin it for their offspring. They say they eat the flesh of their offspring, the flesh, the presence. To make a long story short, it's not a good thing to use the Bible because it confuses things and says things in a way that's like a puzzle. But if you really do your research, you see that it agrees with me that my logic is sound here. And I've been making videos for 15 years. Nobody has ever proved me wrong about any key points. I'm right about the things that I talk about. I'm right that I'm the top martial artist ever possible. And it's a mistake to serve the government. It's a mistake to persecute me. That's been made clear. If the people who work for the government wanted to make it so it's a respectable job, they would have done so by now. Why didn't they scramble and do the right thing and expose organized gangstalking? To this day in America, mental health and other people pretend that organized harassment, government-backed harassment, is something that is magically a sign of mental illness, which is unbelievably false. Okay. These people wanted me to fear them instead of what it says in Proverbs 24:21. It says, I believe the verse says, fear the Lord and the King, my son, and do not join with rebellious officials. So again, I can't stress to you enough that, after my flesh dies, there'll be no way to connect to God. And if you think that, magically that they have the upper hand or have some kind of logical argument, then think about the recent busts in Southern California, right, where all those white prison gang members were busted, okay, and they were busted for what they call acts of terrorism. So it's known in this, it's a known fact that people conspire together to harass people in America. It's been acknowledged. We see that the police and the government tend to escape being blamed, but this case is a clear-cut case of them using provocation, them hacking my phone. One of my most popular videos was a video of them hacking my phone. I proved it definitively. Countless people congratulated me on that. I said, yes, that's proof. Okay, so it's been proven that people are hacking my phone. It's been proven that I have 23 plus witnesses. That was ignored. And now the government is saying that using the same kind of formula they've been using to operate with impunity, that they're going to kill me. Okay, and it's probably going to be something related to poisoning or fuming. Okay, if I was going to predict that they've been messing with my car, I recently got my car repaired, spent $1,600+ on it, and it's still acting funny. And they would chop it up to this, that, and the other thing. I assure you, on this issue, okay, it is a huge mistake to think that they're right and I'm wrong. It's consistent with their pattern. They do something funny to hack the car remotely, something to that effect. And if I die in a car accident, you should be satisfied that they caused it. Okay, if I, if anything, really, if I got shot, or if I, fell off a fucking cliff, or whatever the fuck it would be, Because, however, poison, of course, fumed. I mean, however you think someone might die, rest assured that they caused it. Don't think for a moment that they didn't cause it. They did cause it. I promise you that. They have admitted to me that they're using technology to try to control my brain. People who work for the government, police officers, okay? People who wear in plain clothes, people in various walks of life have indicated to me in a clear-cut manner that yes, there's a gangstalking campaign. Other people are victims of this stuff. I have 23 witnesses on record, for those of you who are too dumb to believe that I'm right about all these things. What about the 23 witnesses on record to the various aspects of the psychological operation against me? So I assure you, on this trajectory we're on right now, there's a heated argument. It has to do with the existential threat in terms of why they're here, right? Whether the Jews are chosen, has to do with the English, has to do with the Germans, has to do with social clubs and law enforcement and military and their shapes and them wanting women to look up to them. Has to do with these things, right? Has to do with social status. Okay, and there's a bunch of occultists everywhere bullying people. And may God curse everyone who has their hand in this stuff, okay? And their offspring, their souls. Let history never forget, though I don't believe it's going to be recorded correctly. Obviously, God will never forget. The angels will never forget. Everyone's ancestors who have passed away will never forget that the Jews and the whites and the LGBT people, that's groups, right, led by racists. Some, they're not a big fan of it. But they're led by these racists that they refuse to rally to me and face, okay? And they made the issue of the fact that God chose me. They didn't want a public debate. They didn't want to go point by point with me. They wanted to suppress my videos instead. Never forget that over their extremely racist issue at a time when they're crying anti-Semitism left and right. This guy, I put the picture on the screen, who's supposed to be an example of a skinhead. It looks like a textbook Jew. It looks like he's a Jew from from some kind of city in an occult group, like textbook. Does that guy look like a German to you? It looks like a fucking Israeli. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? That guy looks like your typical American Israeli type, okay, undercover, undercovers tend to have a certain look. That guy looks textbook. Now, I might be wrong, I don't know. But when you look at this face, the shape of his face, his nose, his various facial features, his characteristics, his way about him, it screams that he's Jewish. And again, I'm not on anyone's side, not on any racist side, not on, the so-called, it's a derogatory term for white people, the name of their prison gang that starts with a P, not on the Aryan Brotherhood side. Well, when you look at this thing, it's clear. There's a conspiracy, a collaboration, a coordinated effort. They're working in concert, okay? There's a collaboration between rich white Jews and LGBT people who control corporations, and they're persecuting me, and they don't understand that a short righteous life is greater than a long wicked life, and they don't understand that you can't beat God. They think that they ended up on this planet for no reason at all. They think the Big Bang, if such a thing occurred, was caused by, it caused itself. They think that, the first thing that ever was just the blackness of space, and then it magically made everything else or something. They're fucking crazy. They think the point of life is just to bully people and control sexual behavior. And they threaten me all the time and harass me about my sexuality because I'm not gay, because I'm heterosexual, because I'm the most proud heterosexual person that ever lived. I'll have no part in what they're doing. 50,000 people commit suicide every year in this country. 70,000 people or so die from fentanyl every year. Okay? Over 1 million Americans died in the coronavirus. These people cannot handle governance for the life of them. Look at every point in Western history. Colonialism, neocolonialism, every point. The English, the French, no matter what it is, they have never, not for a moment, governed in a way that was respectable. Never. Now compare that to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, and you see that their governance has failed their citizens. As when they finally come through with their promise to kill me, my blood is on America and England and Germany and Israel and the LGBT community first and foremost. They have said in their own ways that let my blood be on them. Let God Almighty judge between me and these people persecuting me, and let them never forget what has happened here. Keep in mind that, I'm 6'4", a little less than 200 pounds. If I wanted to really raise my voice, I could, right? Unless I was being fumed or poisoned. So when you see that kind of failure, when you compare it to other videos, at least at this time, before they edit them, That failure to kind of raise my voice past a certain point, that's the fumes, that's the poisons, okay? And keep in mind, there's 23 witnesses. When I told the police about that, you know, they were very irritated because they knew that no court in its right mind would ignore 23 witnesses and then chop it up to mental illness. That is fucking insanity. That would be the most laughable court process in human history.